Hi, this is Scott, Kilo Sierra 6, Delta Alpha Yankee, and for today's video, we're back with yet another operator series video for the Yaesu FT-65 and FT4X radios. And for today, we're going to be talking about memory bank operation and how that can be a useful and effective tool for you. I'll kind of show you how I apply them, and then I'll show you how to actually add a memory channel to a memory bank from the front panel. It's a fairly simple process. But first, let me talk about memory banks, what they are, and how they apply to these radios. The Yaesu FT-65 and FT4X possesses a total of 10 memory banks. So you have 10 memory banks, and each of those memory banks you can apply all the way up to the full complement of channels to any one of those banks. So there's a 200 channel memory capacity on the radio. You could assign all 200 channels to a single bank, but that's not the idea. And also you can apply multiple channels to multiple banks. What the idea with memory banks is it allows you to allocate memory channels in smaller chunks so that they can be very specific to your needs. So to give you a case in point of what we're talking about, and I'll show you briefly how they work. I'm gonna use the FT4X as an example this time. Right now we're in memory mode, and this is the club repeater that's showing up here. But if I were to go through this radio, I won't hit scan because it's going to keep stopping on channels. But I have a little bit of everything in this radio. For excuse me. For instance, if we were to go to channel 3, I've got some GMRS there. If we were to go to channel 75, I got something there that's a little mysterious. If we were to go to 160, say, no, well, that's 60. Oh, that's more GMRS, 160. I've got some ham repeaters. We go down from there a bit to this range. I've got simplex. If we go to 189, I've got law enforcement. So I've got a little bit of everything in here. Now, there are times I might want to scan everything, but I very rarely do that. Usually I scan for a very specific purpose. I want to listen to a very specific thing. So if I want to scan law enforcement, I want to scan only law enforcement. If I want to scan local repeaters, I want to do that. I also sometimes will have, especially on radios that have higher channel counts, I'll have channel plans for counties that I visit on a regular basis. For instance, I have the San Luis Obispo area, which is the Central Coast area, where I spend a lot of time. I have memory banks in some of my other radios so that when I get there, I just switch to that bank, and now I'm only operating on the channels there. Now, as I showed you, I'm going through all of these channels from the memory bank, and I can access all 200 channels. But let me show you what happens when you limit that down to a bank. So I'm going to hold the band key down, and I'm going to select a bank. And in this case, I'm going to select bank number 5, hit VM. Now, that's the bank in which I have nothing but law enforcement channels. So if I hit scan here, it's just nothing but law enforcement channels. Now, got a little bit of tone there. It'll pick up in just a second. Keep going. So as you can see, there are no ham channels are popping up. Nothing simplex, no GMRS. It's just law enforcement only. So let's get out of that. Let me show you another bank that I have. Let's go down to bank 3. And here, this is all GMRS. Let's go to bank 2. This is ham. So this is my simplex stations or simplex frequencies here, and I have my repeaters. So as I said, as I go through each of these banks, I have them set up so I only scan what I want to hear. So like in this case, this is just all about amateur radio right here. It's going to be my simplex channels, my local repeaters that I use, and I can scan those, and that's all we're going to be listening to when I do that. So memory banks are pretty cool for that. I also keep one memory bank open at all times with nothing in it. And what that is for is, let's say I go to an event and they say, okay, these are the 5 channels that we're going to be using for this event. You know, we got a primary and alternate. Then we got kind of station to station that doesn't involve the net. You'll encounter that anytime you go to any kind of event. what I can do there is I can go to that empty bank and I can add in the relevant channels to that bank on the fly in the field. That's why this next skill I'm going to show you is so very handy. So if you do have that to where you don't want to be bouncing around constantly trying to monitor, you can take just those 4 or 5 channels that are going to be involved in that event, stuff them into a bank, operate from that bank, and you can run it on scan, or you can easily navigate between the 4 or 5 channels with a lot less difficulty than trying to navigate all 200. So let me show you real quick how this is done, and we're going to use this FT-65 that I've been using as a teaching tool here. We are currently in memory operation. So the available channels we've got 4. I've got channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and then that channel 10 that I did in the last video. So what I'm going to do is show you how to assign these to a bank. Now I will skip ahead and tell you, let's go to banks here, and let's go to bank number 1, press here. I already have channel 1, channel 2, channel 3 in bank 1. Okay, I don't have channel 4, and that kind of tells me where I'm at. And also, if you're looking for an indicator, just like with memory, you have that M that pops up. If you're in bank mode, memory bank mode, you're going to see the BNK right there, letting you know that you're in memory bank operation. Now to get out of this, we hold the band key down, we arrow down to no bank, short press the VM key, and we're back to memory mode operation. So let's go ahead and add 2 of these channels to bank number 10. So I'm going to navigate to the memory channel that I want to move to a memory bank. And this is all you have to do. The band button, hold it down. Select the bank that you want to go to. In this case, I'm going to go to bank number 10. And it's probably going to be flashing, yeah, because that's telling me there's no channels there. And your F key, you're going to long press your F key. That's that key right there at the bottom. Just hold it down, release, and then press VM. Now, I only have 1 channel in this bank, so I need to get back to memory mode so I can add another channel. So I'm going to hold down the band key again. I'm going to go to no bank, short press the VM. Okay, and that gets us back to the memory mode. Now the next channel that I'm going to add is that repeater. And again, we're going to do the same thing. To add this to a bank, we're just going to hold that band button down. We're going to select the bank that we want to put it in. Then we're going to long press the F key. And then we're going to press VM. Now, we're in bank 10. So we can see bank, and we see 10. Actually, I'm sorry, it was 10. It was coincidental that was channel 10. But we know we're in, it doesn't actually give you an indication of which bank that you're in. It just lets you know you're in bank. Sorry about that. I confused myself there for a moment. But there's only 2 channels in here. Those 2 channels that I just showed you. The first one we added was call VHF, and then we added TCRC2. So if I was at an event and they said, hey, the primary channel we're going to use is TCRC2, and our backup channel or our station-to-station channel is going to be a simplex channel of call VHF. Those are the 2 channels for the event. I can bounce back and forth to those as needed, or I can just hit scan and do the shortest scan known to man. Right there, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, that gets really annoying fast. All right, so that's how to add to a memory bank. And again, to get out of that, we hold the band key down. We go to no bank, short press the VM key. The thing that confuses most people is once they set banks, and I will tell you this, if you're going to be setting a lot of banks, it is a whole lot easier and quicker to do this from the CPS. And I will show that because I'm going to do a video here fairly soon on how to use the CPS to program this radio and kind of speed things up a bit. But in terms of being able to do a couple on the fly, like I said, super duper easy. But what people tend to get hung up on, myself included, is they will forget over time how to get into memory banks. So it's just real simple. Just hold the band key down. So we are in memory mode. You see the M there. Just hold the band key down. Select the bank that you want to go to. Just short press the VM key, and now you're in that bank. And again, the two channels available. So that's memory banks in a little bit of a nutshell there, and how to add them from the front panel, and kind of how they can be used for you to form more effective micro channel plans within your radio. So you have channel plans within channel plans within channel plans. So with that, I will bring it to a close. Thank you for watching and or listening. Have a wonderful day. This is Scott, Kilo Sierra 6, Delta Alpha Yankee in Southwest Visalia, California. Take it easy.